The United States House Committee on Ethics has dropped a bombshell on former Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz, who briefly stood to become President-elect Donald Trump's nominee to be the Attorney General. The committee said that it unearthed substantial evidence that Gaetz engaged in prostitution, statutory rape, illicit drug use. Investigators found Matt Gaetz to have paid huge amounts of money to numerous women for sex and to have purchased and used illegal drugs, including from his Capitol Hill office. Matt Gaetz also paid a minor 17-year-old girl for sex in 2017, according to the final draft of the panel's report on the Florida Republican. The committee has concluded that Matt Gaetz violated Florida state laws, including the state's statutory rape law. Gaetz has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and has pointed to the Justice Department declining to bring in charges against him in 2023. So what is in the House Ethics Report? Well, there are 4 parts of the much-anticipated report that stands out. According to the House investigators, Matt Gaetz paid more than $90,000 to women for sex and drugs, but created quite a complicated web of transactions that were hard to trace. He allegedly used his friend Joel Greenberg, currently serving 11 years in prison for crimes that he said he committed with Matt Gaetz, as a frequent go-between, and logged onto Greenberg's account on seekingarrangement.com, which bills itself as a luxury dating site to interact with these young women. According to the report, Gaetz used payment apps including Venmo and PayPal to transfer money directly to more than a dozen women during his time in Congress. The committee also said Matt Gaetz bought illegal drugs or reimbursed people for them. The report gives examples of his alleged cocaine and ecstasy MDMA use, but focused on what happened to be a heavy marijuana habit. He allegedly asked women to bring marijuana cartridges to these meetings and events and created a fake name email account to buy marijuana. The committee dedicated a great deal of the report to detailing just how Matt Gaetz allegedly obstructed its investigation, including failing to produce evidence that he said would exonerate him. The report concluded that he quote-unquote continuously sought to deflect, deter, or mislead the committee in order to prevent his actions from being exposed. The report ends with a single-page statement from the Ethics Committee Chairman Michael Gaetz, who said, and I quote, "On behalf of dissenting committee members who are not named, those members do not challenge the committee's findings but disagree with releasing the report after Gaetz resigned from the House, which has not happened since 2006, they write." While Matt Gaetz has been mired in allegations of sexual misconduct in the past, the House Ethics Committee investigation into his conduct was thrown into the spotlight when Donald Trump nominated him to be the Attorney General in the new incoming administration. Senators demanded more information about these allegations against Matt Gaetz as they prepared to consider his nomination, with some Republican senators demanding access to the report as some details leaked to the press. The panel then met to consider whether to release the report and deadlocked along party lines in the month of November. And while they had been deliberating, Matt Gaetz had pulled out of the race shortly after. Earlier this month, the House Ethics Committee secretly voted to release this report after initially voting against doing so. So why did the committee decide to release the report? Well, a member of the committee felt that it was important to release the document because what he says, and I quote, "the public had the right to know this sort of thing." He further added, in cases where there was a relatively minor incident, the committee will choose not to release the report. But this, he says, was anything but that. The committee member also felt that releasing the report was also important to signal to other House members what is expected of them as a member of the Congress. Meanwhile, Matt Gaetz has maintained his innocence, attacking the credibility of the Ethics Committee. He published a series of posts on platform X with snippets of witness testimonies that he argues refute the committee findings. The former Florida GOP lawmaker made a last-minute attempt in federal court to block the committee's release of the findings, claiming that the committee was outside of its jurisdiction. But while Matt Gaetz desperately and unsuccessfully sought to halt the report's release, these shocking revelations delivers a huge political jolt that will have serious consequences in the years to come as the Capitol Hill panel takes aim at a longtime Trump loyalist.